Hello and welcome to the first, technically, special episode of the HaloEra podcast. This time specifically a spoiler cast, where for the entire episode we'll focus solely on Halo the series season 2, first couple episodes that just came out yesterday. For anyone used to HaloEra, you might notice a couple of new faces with us. They're probably not new to you guys.
New,
exactly, new in quotations.
New.
Let me first, of course, I'm your host, Aarsal SoulBlazerz, and then also joining us is the usual co-host, Nick. How's it going, man?
Hello. Yeah, sorry.
That's a bird noise.
Sometimes that doesn't pick up in the mic. And
I love it.
That time it did.
And I'll let the new folks introduce themselves. One's called Sikamikanico. How's it going?
It's true. Welcome to episode 198 of the... Wait, this is the wrong show. Yeah, I'm here. I'm here as the naysayer of the Halo series in the group. The naysayer who has opinions. But
Okay.
It's nice. It's nice. It's nice not having to run the show or do anything. So I'm just chilling, ignoring the hellscape that is Twitter. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being here. Also joining us is friend of the channel, Jesse. How's it going, man?
Hello.
Backbone of the
Most
channel.
people don't see me on here very often, so it's nice to be back. It's been a while.
Yeah, it has. It has been a while. Heck, last time we were doing Halo, the TV show talk, that was almost 2 years ago. It was, I think, March 22 or maybe February 22, something like that. It was a while back. But yeah, we're back. It's been a year and a half. Season 1 obviously wasn't the most critically or audience acclaimed shows, right? Really quick before we get into it, what did you guys think of the first season? So we have a base.
A grounding point. Yeah, I was not a fan. And I'll give you an anecdote. I'll give you an anecdote briefly. Not a fan of the first season, obviously, as a fan of the games and the books. Appreciated some of the things they did. Appreciated that they had to resume filming during a pandemic. That obviously has an effect to a degree. But yeah, just didn't particularly gel with the vibe and and some of the CG choices. And it just but then the anecdote is this. My missus, who is not a video game fan in particular, but she loves sci-fi, she was like, well, I'll watch the first season to catch up. So I rewatched it. Right. And I liked it a little more on the second viewing, but still I had all of the same criticism.
Yeah.
But she, as a complete newcomer to the series, absolutely loved it. She was like, this is great fun. What are you talking about?
Dang. Does she watch sci-fi in general?
Yeah, she loves
Okay,
she loves all sorts of
nice.
sci-fi. So she found it to be a really fun, entertaining series to watch. So she was very excited to watch season 2 this evening. So yeah, there you go. That's my thoughts on
And
season
I
1.
think that is the thing that most of us didn't get, was that show was wildly successful. Like, it was the biggest thing they had that year outside of the Taylor Sheridan verse of like 1886 and all his garbage, terrible shows.
Incredibly popular.
But it was their big show. Like, it did incredibly well for them, which is why I think this season has a bigger budget. The biggest thing for me with season 1, I've gone over it a lot, was the split. You had the stuff filmed pre-pandemic, which I thought was really good. It was big, it was open, it was those huge action scenes with the Warthog and the Needlers and all the stuff we loved. And then you had like 2/3 of the year, which was post-pandemic, has started, full year of not recording, all that stuff, small corridors, constantly talking, seeing Quan Ha way too much. B plots that just kind of felt like they were circling because they couldn't really go anywhere with a bunch of people. Everything had to be a couple people talking for the most part. And so for season 1 for me was some very high highs and some understandable lows mixed with just
What do you do?
annoying characters who didn't help. And I will say, we're going to get into it. I've watched the first 4. I won't say anything about 3 and 4.
Yeah.
But I am really happy every time I see Quan Ha.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, dang. That's a lot of
There you go.
amiibos. I mean, not amiibos, rather than thing. Anyways.
No, yeah, Funko Pops.
Funko Pops, sorry. Nick,
Excited
what-
dog knocked it over.
For the first season for me, I've talked about it some on here. I always use the quote I coined a while ago, is that I kind of see the first season or the Halo series as a fan fiction with a budget. It's like if you were to kind of take someone's because first season was it had too much like I don't like Maki. I
Yeah.
just didn't like that choice.
Yeah.
And with it being kind of like this weird relationship with her and Chief, I was just like, this seems like it was written on someone's, 4chan fan fiction.
I get that in the sense that the making the elites and everything was super expensive, so showing the Covenant side more with just a person just ends up making money sense because it's still only TV.
Yeah, it's like I get why they kind of did it, and I think we talked. I mentioned on here before.
Oh, we've talked at length about our thoughts on this.
Yeah, that they. I think they kind of did it too to try to give a bit more humanity to the Covenant, to like have an audience that isn't familiar with them connect with them a bit more.
The age-old, no one can connect to someone unless it's a human face on it, right?
Yes, exactly. It felt like they went into that trope. That was my biggest gripe was her. I mean, the Kwan's story and stuff too. It's just like I wasn't as interested.
Yeah,
but I was.
She was. They made her too annoying. Like it could have been cool, but she was just annoying.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I've already heard, you guys have heard my thoughts many times. In general, give it a 7, some good highs, great action. And I know people don't want to hear this. Some of the best action I've seen on television, period. It's awesome, good stuff there. Kwanha stuff took too long. Maki stuff never was a fan of. But okay, that's it. That's season 1. None of us really liked it that much. I think only a few of us or one of us really hated it. But let's dive straight into season 2. So the first episode, and yes, for those watching, Jesse's seen episodes 3 and 4. So
thanks, Paramount.
Yeah, thank you, Paramount. Yeah. So for some things where I'll be like, wonder what this is, he can't answer. All right, because he might.
Yeah, no. Clues,
I can give you vague generalizations on how I feel about where things go.
Okay,
like if you said I feel like the B plot kind of meanders, isn't really going anywhere, I would respond by saying by the end of episode 4, I think it's been actually wrapped up quite nicely into
that is
the overall
super
plot.
Encouraging, by the way, which I think we'll get to.
Yeah. Yes, it's the exact way. I will say this, after episode 1, I was like, better tonally. After 2, I'm like, pretty good. After 3, ooh. And after 4,
Okay, nice.
Yes.
Nice.
Interesting.
Okay, right off the bat, let's just jump right in. Episode 1 begins with, and by the way, I have some screenshots, which I'll just kind of be going through as we talk about this. Episode 1 begins with a really, dilapidated looking chief on a hospital bed. I'm assuming this is him having Cortana taken out of him, right after the events of the.
Yeah. That's what I gathered from it. The stuff with the voiceover and stuff like that going through, and him kind of in that frozen state.
Yeah, there was a little tear. Yeah,
because we don't want you to forget people.
Do you want me to answer?
He has feelings, and he needs to express them. In porn booths, I'll get. I'll get
go for it, man. For those watching, what we're gonna do is we're gonna kind of.
You're also wrong.
I was gonna say So that actually reminds me. I had after watching that first scene too, I was like, well, what if this is actually a cut to something that's gonna happen?
Interesting. I mean, he does look like really beat up or dilapidated.
What does the old lady say to him on the planet?
Oh, the death.
Go find your faith.
Something
Yeah,
like that.
No, she said, She said, I've seen your death.
It's coming soon. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. All right. So
I took that as a flash forward, not a flashback.
Yeah. After I watched that whole scene through and started watching more, I was like, maybe that was actually like a flash forward.
Because flashback didn't make sense why he looked the way he did. But I kind of figured, okay, he just was possessed by her for a while. Maybe that took a toll on him.
He did have a massive fight with the Spartans unarmored towards the end of season 1. And if they took Cortana out of him, and bear in mind, he had that massive battle where Cortana took him over at the end of season 1. Yeah. It makes sense to me. I don't interpret that as a flash forward. I still interpret it as a flashback.
A flash forward.
It's the way of tidying it up before they get into. Okay, it's 6 months later.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
No, you'll find out.
Okay. Awesome.
Okay.
Next thing up, Chief. Oh, sorry. For those watching, in general, what we're gonna do is we're gonna quickly go through the episodes, piece by piece, and what everyone wants to talk about, whatever, just speak up. Interrupt me, please. I talk way too much on this podcast, anyways. Please interrupt me. Okay. Next one up is Chief and Co. waiting at an outpost, and this was kind of interesting because we get some back and forth. Also, Vanek is so good. I forgot how much I like that guy. Holy crap.
I think this season I definitely liked him a lot more. I'm glad he has a bit more screen time.
we get
the
a couple-
whole I'm watching documentaries
Yes.
and stuff, and I think that whole
Yes.
scene for me kind of just a little bit, not like loads, that like they proved that hey, we can have emote like machinima style, like
Yeah.
red versus blue style, like
Yes.
helmet
Oh,
bobbing, right? And I was
yes.
like, great, yeah, keep them like this. But it was also a little bit of human like banter that you would get in the games, you know, where you hear the
Yeah.
Marines say ridiculous things.
Yes, you're right.
I really liked that they actually did that. And the just the mood of that whole scene of the Spartans all hunkered down and Overwatch and complaining about not being on, you know, a genuine combat assignment, but more of a babysitting assignment was interesting to me. I liked it a lot.
Yep, which I guess brings it into is though right now the Spartan team, we're 6 months after the events of the first season. They are currently not on combat. They're not combat fit. For the last 6 months, they've been doing babysitting missions like this, where they're, I guess, watching over Marines as Marines go and evacuate towns or cities or something like that. Anyways, quickly moving forward. So there are Marines clearing out a group of people, and it looks like things are getting rowdy. So Chief and Riz do like a super cool Spartan run, man, and it looks so cool every time they do it.
Yeah, the CG Spartan run.
Does the
I was like,
CGI
this
hold
is
up?
cool.
Because I couldn't. The screener quality was just terrible on purpose. They don't want people leaking it out, so it's really low quality. So I was like, "This looks good, but I have no idea what this is going to look like
Yeah,
at
it held
4K."
It held
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
You can kind of tell that it is like, you know, CG and stuff, but
It's going to be Uncanny Valley. There's no way to do that and have it look real.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was slightly uncanny, but I mean, it was still good though. It's like, I mean,
Yeah.
you kind of know that they had to.
It feels like they
kinda
leaned
go
into
that
it on
route.
purpose, where they're like, we know this is inhuman, right? Like this kind of running, this kind of movement,
Yeah.
especially in episode 2, you'll see
Yeah.
more of that. And it's like, let's just lean into it. Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's not supposed to be.
I think they did it.
Yeah, they've
they
got
did a
super
lot more of
armor.
that.
They're super powered. It's gonna look super ridiculous compared to what a normal person can do.
But
Yeah.
it was so cool.
So
it was just
so
a nice,
cool, yeah.
like for fans of the series to see a Spartan moving that fast. Because what's their top speed? 55 kph?
I think MPH.
Like, is it miles per hour?
I think
I
so.
couldn't remember if it was
so, 'cause they run
kph.
as
But
fast
yeah,
as a
either
robot
way,
does,
fucking
so.
fast.
yeah,
So-
fair enough.
But yes,
Okay,
yeah, it's good.
so after this, Chief goes and he hears about Marines that are at a comms relay that went to investigate something. He goes to go check that out. Hey, what's happening here? Boom! A bunch of elites show up, and for the life of me, I couldn't find a good screenshot of him fighting them. But let's just talk about that fight. Let's do it.
What a cold open. Like within the first couple of minutes, you okay, right, everyone's back. Banter's good. Like, and this was me at the beginning of that episode. Okay. And then they were audible because I watched it with 4 of us all sitting here.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, you know, like
Yeah,
there's a
yep.
bit where he dodges an elite and he just leans the shotgun back,
Just instant.
and just dodges
Yeah.
him. I'm just
Yep.
like, oh, this is so good. And it was done like I compare it to that first episode of season 1 and that first fight to set the scene for
Yep.
how the Spartans fight, and it was like night and fucking day. And
Literally,
I
and
feel like they did
figuratively.
it almost in one cut as well. Like obviously it was
So
trickery.
they mentioned in behind the scenes they're aiming to do more like single cut kind of things. They mentioned
so
they're
good.
obviously hiding cuts in between, but that's
Yeah,
a goal.
there's
they always do.
so episode 4 is not just a single cut. Episode 4 is a lot of very long trickery to make single cut
Stop hyping
scenes.
me up for episode 4.
So that is where they went for it. I will say if you really like seeing Spartan suits, not always in it. Still. So
That's okay.
episode 1, episode 2, 3, 4, he's still not always in the
Yes,
suit.
yes, which is
and I knew
perfectly
the
understandable.
moment I knew the moment he wasn't and they weren't always in their suits that it was just going to immediately piss people off, and that was so much of the initial thing. Put the helmet on. I'm like,
Ugh.
no, there's no lore reason why they would always be in their combat armor if they're not in the middle of a combat mission. It's like we only play combat missions in games because that's what they do. They do first-person shooters. They don't do Mass Effect. If it was Mass Effect, whenever he was talking in a cutscene, it would come off. Like, there's no reason why it wouldn't.
Yeah,
Like, even Mass Effect, your guy takes the helmet off in the ship. You can have it on when you explore, but
I think the folks that freak out about the Chief taking his helmet off. Okay, I get it if you've only ever played the games, right? That's like a staple, like it's almost a joke, right?
Yeah.
But I'm sorry, people. The narrative does demand it, and the books. He's got his helmet off all the freaking time. All right,
Yeah.
half the time he's never in his armor. All right,
Yeah.
it's you just got to let this one go. All right, these are actors that want to act, and yeah, it's true. You can't act as well with a bloody helmet on your face, and
Like,
that's fine.
The Mandalorian, it's literally a religious thing for them.
Yeah.
It's never been that for the Spartans. It never made sense for it to be that in live action.
Yeah, and they have Grogu and stuff there that like kind of help with some of the
with the emotional
more
aspect.
emotional stuff like that. Anyway,
In this fight, back to the fight for a sec. When the elite first grabs that first Marine, literally, someone next to me was jump scared. Like when it happened, he's like, "What I got?" I'm like, "What?" It's
This kind of like, I mean, a slight tangent, but this kind of like scenery and stuff like that, the fog and the color reminds me just a lot of the Flood, even though it's not related to stuff at
you're
all.
right.
It's just like,
Their color grading in this year was really good. Like, not just cinematography better, like the color. I think everything feels more tonally cohesive. I think that's the big thing. They went for the more dour war story and less of the dramatic half friggin' rom-com, and it's a war story with things in there. So it is always looks and sounds and feels the same. And even like the side stuff on the rubble that they'll do feels the same as when they're in Reach or other places. It never, I never once felt that kind of like I'm ping-ponging between two production teams who work differently and have different budgets for their scenes and type of stuff. It was very consistent, which comes with filming everything at the same time instead of a year apart.
We have a super chat from Alvin. Thank you very much. And they say the Mass Effect helmet analogy is perfect, which I will take full credit for, even though I didn't actually say it. Okay. Anyways,
I mean, it's just that thing. It is a shooter. People in Gordon Freeman doesn't talk in Half-Life. Why? Because they want it to feel like it's you, and you can say shit and react to people. And when you're Chief, everyone can be Chief, no matter how you look in real life. Like, that's the video game thing. That is not 99.9% of movies or TV shows where acting in masks sucks. So they don't like doing it by default. But also, it is just very hard to properly emote unless you do the Iron Man thing. And then everyone yells at you for doing the Iron Man thing. So,
which they did in Halo a little earlier, last season. But okay, he fights the elites. It's a great fight. He saves one out of the 4 Marines. They all die. Though, to be honest, I think when he saves one Marine, he throws her so hard. Pretty sure she gets injured just by that.
I don't think he threw her. If memory serves, she kind of.
I thought he like pushed her out of the way.
He did give her a shove. I suppose he saved her from the elite that was about to stab her and kind of said, "Get down." But maybe she went flying. 2 tons of Mjolnir armor. She crashes into you.
One thing in this fight, which is really interesting, was I feel like I'm not fully certain, so double check on me here, Jesse. Elites that wear invisibility armor, right? They have slightly weaker shields, I think. Right? Is that lore accurate?
I thought that was always one of the trade-offs, but I don't remember 100%.
It kind of showed that he was breaking through those shields pretty quickly. Like, those elites were going down really quick, and I really like that kind of like attention to detail in that scene.
Yes, because it is a thing to be more difficult to get through shields at other times.
Yes.
Also, to not spoil it, that lady was one of the main casting people from the early things they talked about, so she'll be around.
Cool.
Because they talked about her character. I don't know if you recognized her face. Yeah, Perez. They talked about her as a new character. Yes. Yeah. And honestly, so she will be a character moving forward, and she's a good actress.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
I like her so far. I'm just saying. But anyways, we'll get to it. And then at the end of the fight scene, actually, a bunch of elites show up, and it was cool in the trailer, and it was so cool on my TV still. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, it was really cool.
But for some reason, because it's a goddamn TV show, they don't kill the chief with like way more numbers, like 40, 50 elites. They just let him go. And we see a shadowy figure in the distance, which we'll get to soon. That's basically the thing.
As soon as I saw that shadowy figure, I was like, I think I know who that is.
I still have a guess, all right? And then we'll talk about it in episode 2. But anyways, okay, all right. And now we get the intro. Actually, no, sorry. Before the intro, the planet gets glassed and they evacuate. Planet getting glassed is so cool. Like, it
was cool to see that visually, cinematically. Yes. I like, that's did the elites back off because they knew that hey, the orders come in, you got to evac because I don't know, or maybe they thought it was dishonorable.
I won't say.
Well, when I first saw that scene and stuff, my first thought was like, because I saw the figure and I was like, well, I'm pretty sure I know who that is.
Yeah.
And I'm like, she probably gave the command to like let him be. and stuff and back off.
It is not a long hanging plot thread.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's cool.
There are still things after 4. I think most of I really feel like I know kind of where things are going, but I think a lot of the why did this happen? Why is that happening? What's going on here? You will get answered by the end of 4.
Awesome.
It's really well paced, like very well paced.
I think we even start getting a lot of answers and stuff in
Episode
2.
Yeah.
Episode
Yeah.
2 once we get to that.
The people, the shamans or religious folks there refuse to leave. They go down to the planet. Though what always kind of cracks me up, though not people dying.
Walk into the fire.
What cracks me up is like they're in a pelican leaving, right? That pelican's not getting shot down by a giant laser. But the other pelican that left before them, that pelican's done.
Yeah, well, come on. Plot armor. I find it more funny that the religious group were like, we're gonna die here for religion, yada yada yada. And then she's like, "Hey, Chief, I've seen your death. It's coming soon." And then she goes to walk into the fire. And the Chief should have been like, "Not as soon as yours, lady." Like, what are you doing? I'm gonna go live over here. I don't know.
Okay. And then we get the new intro. It's very similar. It's slightly different. I think I'm gonna disagree with you guys here a little bit. But what do you guys think of the new intro and the new music playing through it?
Yeah, it was nice to hear.
I liked it. I'll be honest though, I actually kind of skipped through the intro because I was like, I need to watch
It's
these
10 seconds long.
Hey, I had to save seconds,
Okay, all right, fine, fair.
I was watching it before I took a half day at work yesterday because I was sick in the morning. So I watched it then, and I was like, I got to make sure I finish these episodes.
Okay, let me summarize it. It's essentially the same thing. Chief and his armor being made, but there's a crack in his visor that you can see his eye. You go into the crack, and a halo ring shows up.
Oh, okay.
And throughout all of this,
I'll watch it next episode.
Okay, all right. Throughout all of this, they're playing Halo music and just straight up Halo music. The reason why I don't like it as much is because
it's the chant. Yeah,
it's the chant. I like the music in the first opening more so.
I did watch it enough. I watched 5 seconds of it to hear the chant.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's cool. Skip ahead.
So it's Bear McCreary doing the music this year, as part of the.
Oh yes, he's awesome.
So it hasn't been straight up dun 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 because it hasn't been like these Spartans are awesome type of music. It's been the more somber war stuff. I am curious if we get like a big Spartans in their full armor fighting thing after these first 2 episodes. Do we get that music type of thing? That's what I was really curious about.
I'm not sure because like the tone of the show is a lot more dour. Like, hey, we're fighting for our lives. Well,
that's why I was like, I don't think that music would actually match.
Yeah.
Like that music would be super excited and pumped, and yes, this is awesome. And until they get to that point in the story, I don't think they'll use it.
You did hear a hint of it. You just heard a
interesting. I didn't catch that.
You just heard a little hint. Go rewatch
they
that
bring
first
tone.
15 minutes.
Yeah,
I'm gonna watch.
They bring in hints.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
nice.
but they're not going full on. We got to pay Marty O'Donnell for this.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We get our first look at Colonel. Forgot his first name. Something Ackerson. Anyone who's read the books.
James.
James. Yeah, I think it is James. Yeah. He's a pretty important character. In this case, he's replacing Halsey as leader of the Spartan program. The team meets him for the first time. They're reporting obviously about what happened at the planet. He's like, hey, there were elites on the ground. Why the hell were there elites on the ground and they're going to glass the planet? Something's up. They're like, oh, Chief, whatever. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, so one, and I did
If you think he's being too dismissive, I understand. I felt the same way.
It's different. It's different. So one, I did DM you, but you're showing Nick twice on screen and not yourself.
What?
So double Nick feature. I just wanted to let you know.
Oh.
Yeah, I DM'd you. We private chatted you.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what else I can do. So I'm interrupting.
I don't think it was the whole time.
Know.
No. I think it's when you went to pictures.
No, but I've been in pictures for a long time.
Oh, well then, yeah.
There's 2 Nicks. I'll let you fix that. But to answer your question, like,
okay, you guys
I don't mind the casting. I
looks
think
pretty good to me.
The actor is great. Little bit of a hint of moustache twirling villain, like too much. You're not
he gets depth. No,
you've seen more.
I'm gonna agree. First, at the first, a lot of people feel kind of in a box. This is who they are. This is what this character is. And I think for pretty much every main character, it does a very good job of letting them out of that box. They don't feel constrained.
Okay.
So I would just say that in the general vague terms for pretty much every main character.
Yeah.
They did.
It's been the biggest improvement in the writing. Oh, go ahead.
they've done a good job of making me hate Ackerson.
Yes, immediately. Yeah.
I was like,
Mhm.
man, it's like I hate this guy already. It's
stupid
like
Mhm.
I
listen
know
to your
he's supposed to be
Spartan.
kind of the antagonist, and that's
Yeah.
good.
The thing with these kind of characters, though, is I'm like, why are you being so obstructionist?
Yeah.
Because the plot
Yes.
demands it.
No.
Like,
No.
and I appreciate I haven't seen episodes 3 and 4, but I'm like, why is it just you in the know? Like, if well, it's more an episode 2 thing about
Yes,
the
it
whole other
is. I
squad.
know, but we can talk about it here though. Let's jump into it. I do
you
feel
know,
like
yeah,
he
we can
is-
mix it up.
he
It's like,
is-
why are you being so deliberately like
Yeah.
you know, why are you trying to make out like the chief is mental if you
Yeah.
know that they're here on or I just like
Well, to be fair, you know what
Ackerson
Ackerson
Very
does,
sweet.
right? In the books, what his like claim to fame is. Which is not Spartan
refresh my
Tooth,
memory,
I'll tell you
but
that much.
I thought he was in charge of a different special weapons project
The-
that was in competition with the Spartan program.
I
And
think
he
yeah.
deliberately, when they were doing the test
Yes.
with Cortana and Mjolnir, sent a fucking missile
Yes.
after the chief, and he
That
kind of
was
bitch slapped it
Fall
away.
of Reach. In Ghosts of Onyx, you get a little bit more of what he's doing. At least I'm pretty sure it's been a while since I read it. But he's in charge of, and this is a little spoilers for people watching for later in the series. He's in charge of the Spartan 3 program, I believe. I'm pretty sure. I have
okay.
to double check that, but I'm fairly
Oh
certain.
no, you're right. With Kurt
Exactly with Kurt.
from
Yes,
Ghosts of
yes.
Onyx. Yeah.
So that's
you're
why
right. You're right.
that's the feeling I got. He's so dismissive of the twos, especially Chief, like the poster boy
And-
of the twos. You know?
Yeah.
And if you don't want to be spoiled, do not go on their Instagram or IMDb because it just gives you the last 4 episode names, which are just distinct Halo things.
We had an episode that we just went through all the episode names.
Yeah, I know you guys did. I'm saying
Yeah.
for anyone else that doesn't want to be, it is literally just okay, all right, okay. I know where they're going.
Yeah.
Raymond in the chat said that the dude makes a perfect Oni leadership because Oni
Yes.
is supposed to be sinister.
Or
and
O&I,
yes,
as he says.
hmm
yeah. Well, they do say
That's right.
Oni and stuff, but
No,
yeah,
but he
does say
specifically kept saying
O&I.
O&I. I'm like, what the heck is he saying? And then I
The
realized,
I-
O&I.
I picked up on that,
Yeah.
but I'm like, I'll give you a pass because you guys said Oni earlier in the episode.
Yeah,
I'm
like people
let's not
call
be
it
an
Oni,
ang
but
and ung kind of thing.
the people who run it call it the ONI because it's
Yeah.
it is an acronym. But then everyone else who
Yeah.
doesn't like it calls it Oni.
Yeah.
But anyways, okay. So we meet Ackerson. Great job with the actor so far. Immediately made us hate him. Immediately that sinister snake feeling you get from Oni. And then we move over to the rubble. Back to Soren, and essentially what I'm assuming is going to be the B plot. As for
I hated the B plot in the first episode. I was like, oh,
yes,
this just eh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was kind
I
of
was
like,
kinda-
why are we here?
Yeah.
100%.
Same.
But we'll quickly glass through it. Pass through pretty quick.
Oh,
here,
no.
too.
No,
It
that
did.
makes
It did
sense.
bring some interesting things in. Basically, they're like in the 6 months, the war is clearly escalated. Is what this implied. Planets are being glassed. You got a bunch of refugees going everywhere. People are selling themselves on purpose to try and find a place to live, which is what this weird
quite
initial
dark.
slave
Yeah.
scene was. Yeah, definitely.
This is not a happy show.
You got friggin'
No.
Bill
The
Weasley here.
war's not happy.
Anyways, this one person who's being sold says, "I know where Halsey is. I saw her. Blah blah blah." Soren clearly gets interested.
Immediately gets a little boner.
Yes, straight up. And that's about it for that. And then we're back, and Chief, for the first of many, many times, confronts Ackerson about what he saw and why no one's taking him seriously. We already kind of talked about this. I'll go through it quick. Back in the rubble, Sorensen's talking to his family. They think he's losing his grip, which is not wrong.
His wife is a good actress, but her voice makes it hard for me to take her seriously.
Yes.
It is
Also-
such a baby
Right.
voice.
There was a scene where she was having a go at him, but she was kind of like standing like this, like with the
Yeah.
heel on,
She's-
like, I'm really mad at you. I'm really mad. And I was just like, why are you standing like that? I don't know. I thought it was weird.
Because
I-
she's
I don't
super
mind.
rich. The
Yeah,
the rich on Earth have no idea what they're doing. She's super rich, and her husband's a filthy pirate. And it's like, I just get to do and say what I want. Everyone's afraid of him, so they'll never tell me to do otherwise.
Right away, I
Yeah.
got some like Game of Thrones vibes, where it's like, hey, you're losing your grip on the leadership. They might not.
Yeah.
All right, I don't need it in my Halo, but whatever. Okay. Anyways, back to Chief talking to the Spartans, where they're watching a news piece. I actually really like this scene because they showed the UNSC propaganda machine at work.
Yes. Yeah, which you hear a lot of in the books and stuff. A lot more of is the propaganda.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was like they didn't mention the Spartans at all. They gave Perez, the one surviving Marine from that one place, all the credit of the evacuation, and she's looking so like out of it. She's like, "What's going on?" Like, What the heck?
She's not doing well.
Yeah, and so Nick, we were wrong. That was not the Spartan 3 graduation ceremony, which we thought it might
Yeah.
have been.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting is throughout these first 3 episodes, a lot of the clips from the trailer were from these 2 episodes.
That's what I realized too, which I
That's
like.
good.
I really
That's a
like
good
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Yes, I was really happy when I was like, I'd seen a lot of these scenes already, and I was like, that's good.
Yeah. Anyways, and then they meet, and this was really cool. Our first look at other Spartans that aren't Silver Team. And they get some banter, and it's pretty. And what's interesting, we didn't talk about this earlier, but at this point, Chief's entire team has taken out the emotion suppressant pellet. Right?
Yeah, they have. And this was a first intro to Cobalt team,
Yes.
right? Who become prominent a little bit later on in the next episode. But yeah, it was cool to see, more than 4 Spartans, because at this point in the general universe, the game's always been the last Spartan 2. It's not strictly true, even in the books, but yeah, certainly for the show, it was nice to see.
As badly as Bungie wanted to make it true, it was never true.
They really did kill as many Spartans as they could.
Yeah.
Poor James. But anyways, so this is our first look at other Spartans, and they're almost looking down on Silver Team for having taken out the pellets. Though, to be fair, Silver Team is also right now off combat duty. But that being said, there was a scene near the end where Chief's like, where are you guys going? And he's like, oh, checking out the comms relay. He's like, expect action. And immediately it went from like, we're making fun of you to like, yeah, okay. Like, yes, Chief.
Yeah.
We'll listen to that.
It felt like that
I
military
like that
banter where you shit talk each other until things are serious. And then you're like, okay, yeah, once it's serious, shit talking ends. When it's not serious, we'll shit talk forever type of thing.
That's what I picked up too. And I think they did, in my opinion, a good job of kind of portraying that as someone who was not in the military at all. But it just,
as someone who's watched a lot of movies.
I watched Reacher. They shit talk each other.
The tall one or the short one?
Both. I kind of like
the tall one. The one that actually
they're
looks
both
like
good. But yeah,
they are. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, back to Chief goes back to Ackerson. I don't understand why they had this conversation happen so many times. But whatever, I guess.
You'll see.
I think. Yeah.
This is what I mean about it feeling obstructionist. Is it's like, no, you're really mental, bro. You didn't see it, did you?
What's that little owl
crazy, man.
Yeah.
Am I crazy? Is it what? Yeah. And there was a bit of me, that I really hoped he was crazy because of what he saw. I was like, please be crazy.
There was.
I'll actually take the crazy plot over this plot. But,
I did realize though is that like I'm like, dude, just go check the friggin' elites. He killed like 20 of them. They're sitting there, but they can't.
No, the planet's glassed. Yeah.
Yeah, planet's glass.
Well, the one plot thread for me was, don't their helmets record everything? Yeah. Just trying that.
Oh, yeah.
What doesn't the
They
ONI?
I don't know if they do anymore.
Do they do it in this
just
show?
record the
Did they
footage.
mention that their helmets record? I don't know if the show's mentioned.
I'm sure in season 1 they were looking at helmet footage from his helmet.
Yeah.
And like, oh yeah, this is a thing.
He didn't have his Cortana on. He couldn't say Cortana record.
Hey, Xbox.
Felt like a
record.
bit of a plot
The
thread.
magnetic interference around the relay,
Mess with his
kind of
hard drive,
disrupted the
hard
footage. We'll say that.
Okay,
It
anyway.
wipes
They
out-
couldn't do any comms.
Okay, so we're back to the rubble with Soren, who again, great actor. I hope they do more with this character, which it looks like they are. Speaks with Bill Weasley and is like, okay, yeah, let's go to the let's go check out what's happening. And then this is kind of interesting. Chief is like skulking around in the night. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Okay, fine. Okay, all right. We'll move things a little quicker.
Look,
Chief talks.
He's a giant
to-
virgin.
Yeah. Chief talks to a character from the first season who used to be an admiral who resigned because of the whole Halsey stuff.
Paranovsky.
Yeah.
Paranovsky. Yeah,
Yes.
you're right.
Yes.
And she essentially tells Chief, listen, like, don't worry, there are people here that do listen to you, even though I'm not.
I have
part of
got
the
your
military."
back.
Yeah, essentially. Dude, I'm not military.
Whoa,
Report to me.
Spartans gifting memberships in the chat.
Ooh, nice.
Absolute legends.
Yeah.
Welcome to the team, Spartans.
Thank you.
Thank you, Spartans.
You get Sick and Nick
2451.
flicks.
Yeah. Go
I
listen
got it.
to more movie
Why
talk.
do it? It gives it to me all the time. God
That's
damn
very
it!
kind. It's very kind.
I've been a member many months now.
You saw a bit. You guys mentioned the propaganda earlier in that city. You saw like a hologram of the chief, like being all the heroic pose and stuff. So it was cool to get that aspect. But then I'm like,
The Oscar
okay, he
Mike's
goes
bar.
into this
Like-
weird seedy booth to have weird seedy AI conversations with a Cortana that's not really Cortana, but he makes her look like Cortana. But then he's got a credit card, and I'm like, wait. Does the Master Chief get paid? And if so, how much does he get
Of course he
paid?
gets paid. He's a working military member.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a kidnapped military member. Like,
He's still
I didn't realize
But
he
he
earns
gets
a
paid.
wage.
Yeah.
Man, Halo must have been overtime. Hey guys, yeah, stopped galactic civilization. I was technically off duty, so
Nice
A lot of
salary, dude.
overtime.
Nothing. He needs a union.
can I have a pay rise? I just thought it was
You know
funny.
what? You just made me think of something. I don't know if this is the case, but what if his death is when he goes into cryo as they end up going to Halo, and then he gets pulled out of cryo to start season 3?
That'd be cool.
Ooh, that'd be cool.
That'd be hype.
We were hoping on our last podcast, real quick, we were hoping that the end of this season would launch into
Halo.
like
CE.
Delta Halo and stuff like that. Yeah, Halo.
Yeah,
It would be. I think it would be. It shouldn't be much longer than that. And if you look at you know what's going on. We all know what's going on anyways if we look at the friggin' titles. So
Yeah.
But anyway,
I think
they
They've
spoiled
scrubbed-
themselves.
They've scrubbed
They
IMDb
did.
of those titles. You've only got the next one with
Yeah.
the name. The
It's
rest
still
of
on
them
their
just say-
Instagram though. They didn't scrub that.
Oh,
It's on our podcast too.
yeah, we went through every single one.
It's every, once it's on the internet, it's everywhere. So
Yep.
I won't say it again. But if you go back, you can very easily find out all 8 episode titles.
Yep.
Okay. This part here is
John
pretty
looking?
important. I'll quickly go through it. Soren goes with the Weasley to the ship, which, by the way, looked really cool. Like something out of Dead Space.
Yeah, I like this.
hmm
Visuals are super cool, but it turns out to be a trap.
A
because
trap. Oh, no.
Yeah, they
It's a
credited him
trap.
hard, and now he's under arrest. I'm assuming by the UNSC or something like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we all got
They
bad
said
vibes
who
from
at the
Country
beginning.
Bumpkin, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
oh, a side panel fell off, and I didn't know what was going on. I'm just an innocent
I'm
man.
just a little farmer,
Oh yes, I was on a
Mr.
loader.
Sorno.
I'm just a hobbit in my spare time. Like, it was just weird. But then I was
He's
like,
Simwise Cumji. He's not, he's like that
Yeah.
porn knockoff.
he was standing by the door, and I was like, he's a bad guy.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, it was just like, okay,
Yeah.
he's about to betray him.
Either he was a bad guy or he was about to get killed. Were the two theories I had.
Yeah.
But anyway, Soren gets kidnapped or not kidnapped. Sorry, arrested. Let's see where this goes for a story arc. Yeah, and John does weird. Okay, so this was like some weird holographic prostitution thing, right? Is that the vibe you guys
Yeah.
got too?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, it
You
was-
talk to a
yeah.
lady, make you feel all good.
He's clearly feeling the loss of Cortana. It feels kind of like therapy for him though, where he's just speaking to her but not wanting her to talk back, going through his mind. Blah blah blah. They were super close. And then we have an outro thing, and this is important because it has one of the sickest screenshots I've seen yet. That looks so cool. The ship's rising.
Oh yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mhm.
that's very cool.
And it turns out Kwan Ha is the storyteller narrating the ending, and she's some kind of mystic, and she has normal hair.
She's starting to take on the role. The way I took it was she's starting to take on the role she was supposed to
Yes.
as the
yes.
caretaker of, and it's been 6 months for her living and hiding on the rubble. I took it like she has matured, and I would say that follows through.
Yes.
She is not a whiny little kid anymore. Thank you.
And she's living in the rubble, and the episode ends. Something about monsters. Did you guys catch what's that drawing? Is that like a monster? Two
I
eyes and a-
tried
It was
to
like
figure
a
that
screamy
out.
face. It
Okay,
was like
that's
a
what I thought, yeah. But it also looked
Yeah.
like a star map, kind of the way she drew what she drew on that on the ceiling.
Yeah.
And that
I
is
know.
It might have
episode-
been what from what the monitor showed.
That's what I'll say.
It could. I took it as what it was. That. Yeah.
That's
The
episode
way to
one.
Halo or something.
So what did you guys just really quick think of the first episode?
Okay, not great.
Really solid improvement. And I think
Yeah.
I'm probably being more positive on it straight away because you could feel that everything has improved. Like, look, end of the day, if you're a book fan or a game fan, they're going to make decisions, being that this is a completely different universe that you're not going to like, right? You're going to be like, that's not what happens. Fine, put that to one side, judge it just as a TV show. You know what? Massive improvement compared to season one. Massive.
You've got massive constraints in being a TV show too. It's not a movie. It can't be that ram bam just nonstop action thing. It's got to be. You need the downtime for the budget, for just the pacing. I think, and I said in my review, the hardcore people who really hated it and yelled "keep your helmet on" won't like it more. But it is just a much better TV show.
Yeah. I agree.
I think I said last thing I'll say. It tickled the taint of prestige, is how I put it.
That was your quote. Yeah,
It's right there.
Read it out
Yeah.
loud.
Tickling the taint. Wow, that's a
Mhm.
that's a phrase. I'm sure Paramount will put that on a box.
We'll get the email before long. Nick, what say you real quick?
It left me wanting more and
Mm.
stuff. So that was good. Yeah, definitely an improvement from the first season. And yeah, like John was saying and everything is if you put aside the fact that like it's definitely its own universe, like they said from season one, and once you kind of get past that, it's like I've always said that it's a good sci-fi show. So I really enjoyed the action and everything. So
Okay. And with that, let's move into episode
Even more
2.
lights off.
Chat. The reason why we're kind of going through it pretty quick is we are conscious of the fact that it is currently 12:47 a.m. for John, and we don't want to keep him up too long.
That's okay. I don't mind.
And we got 2 episodes to go through, so we gotta speed this up a bit.
How do you like this lighting, John? I turned every light off.
Yeah, it's nice, mate.
it's kind of
nice.
cool. It's moody.
Is that Kazuya on the right? Looks sick.
Hmm.
Nothing.
Well, this is Jin Kazama from the Tekken 8 Collector's Edition they sent me. He's plugged into a power bank.
Okay, all right. Hence the wireless. Okay, so episode 2 initially moves up with our first look at Halsey, who wasn't at all in the first episode, which I think is okay. She's trapped in some kind of room talking to
She's doing great.
Who's she's trying to get some information. Whoever she's talking to dies when she gets closer to.
Yeah. I immediately just thought, oh, they're a Flash clone. Because that was a Flash clone thing.
Yep. Yeah, as soon as you start getting that nosebleed and when the question started going, I was like, yep, that's a clone.
I was trying really hard to figure out who, because it's definitely not her. She would know immediately. So
And I kind of laughed when it was just the scene of the clone just go, I was like, it's morbid, but it's kind of funny because I know
I'm
it's a
so
clone.
used to I'm not used to. I'm always like worried whenever I see a nosebleed and someone's about to die that their head's gonna blow up. I don't know why. I don't know what movie or show.
you watch
put that in my
Scanners
head.
too much?
Is it Scanners? I think
Scanners.
It's Scanners. Yeah. That's why I'm always like.
That's the GIF with the guy whose head explodes.
Yes. Yes, you're right.
Yeah. Or GIF, whatever.
It is GIF. Anyways, moving on. So
It's whatever
this
you
is
want.
integral because this episode is kind of focused on Riz a little bit, which is something we haven't really seen in the first season. And she was, if you guys forgot, was injured pretty badly at the end of the first season, and had to be saved. And she's still suffering from these injuries. They're pretty horrific looking.
Yeah, very good makeup job.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah. Cobalt team. John, you muted.
Sorry, it's nice seeing some character development beyond, just
That's
snappy one-liners.
Yes.
It's nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's been the big thing for me is really solid character development, like actual good TV.
Yes.
Like they're doing it.
Okay. Cobalt team gets moved to standby. And Chief realizes what the hell's going on. Like they're not standby. We know they haven't been back yet. Blah blah blah. By standby, are they basically assuming like MIA, or is that more of like they're hiding the fact that they went on a mission?
I think it's hiding the fact that they went on a mission. Or if they did, they're hiding the fact that they haven't returned yet. So it's like, oh yeah, they're totally back. Kind of thing. That's kind of what I got from that.
Okay. So
Because
clearly,
Spartans never die, sort of thing.
not gonna lie, when I watched with like some family that doesn't really into Halo, the moment they saw a Cobalt team and saw they were going into like some kind of action, they're like, yeah, so these are the Spartans that are gonna die to show us the threat of whatever like we're coming up against.
Yeah.
But anyways, so this is, I'm just gonna quickly go through it really quick. We see Kwan Ha again. She's at the rubble. It's not going well for her or Soren's family after Soren is presumed dead. Because I think I caught this. They presumed that his ship got sucked into the atmosphere.
Yes. Yeah. It looks like the people that were his partners or whatever might have been, I don't know, in on it or tipped off.
Yeah, I feel like he was sold out.
Yeah.
He was sold out alongside that other guy, and as soon as they saw the other ship, they bailed. And they know they bailed on him, and they feel bad about it.
So that's my question.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
think
why
they
they're trying to
saw
prolong it.
another ship. I don't think they know that he's arrested. I think they assumed that whole ship got destroyed in the atmosphere.
I wrote a note during episode 2.
Yeah.
They're in on it.
Okay.
Yes.
Like the moment I saw that, it was just like,
Yep.
this is very obviously they're in on it.
Yeah, because it's
Second
like
I
the
saw them
whole like
go away.
like they went away, and then later on when they're in the scenes and stuff, because relevant, they talk about how like the ship isn't being repaired and stuff fast enough to like go back out and whatever. I was like,
it was
that's what made me
obvious.
Yeah,
like they feel guilty, like the dude of his crew, the one that was like repairing everything. He, you could see he was like teary eyed. He felt bad about what he'd done, but they'd created a power vacuum, and then this other pirate leaders have taken over the rubble.
I think the implication was also that like his people were either sold or bought by someone else. I think. I mean, his crew.
It looks it, yeah, because Quan had suddenly had an earring in, and so the power vacuum has happened, and now people are being sold into slavery, and
it does seem like
then
they fast-forwarded that a little bit, which I don't mind.
Yeah. But we did get unnecessary parkour chase.
Yes.
Did anyone else think there was a lot of unnecessary parkour?
I noticed that too. I was like, man, they got some parkour actors just for this, for like whatever reason. I don't know
mean, like
why.
The triple jump on the shelf?
Yeah. And then they blew him out of an airlock. And when did Quan become a murdering crazy person?
Over the course of 6 months.
Yeah. Like, go Quan.
A little bit.
You only get to live on the rubble if you're a piece of shit, essentially.
Yeah.
So
Also, I'm assuming the rubble's like probably like 0.8 gravity or something, realistically. Realistically. But anyways, that's enough for Quan.
Always assume it's 1 because that's way easier to shoot in.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay, and this next part was kind of interesting because we got our first look at a Spartan 2 that watched out of the program, which is something the games never, ever, ever do or even talk about.
True.
I forget his name. But the moment I saw him, I'm like, oh, this is someone that got washed out right away. And what's funny is when he picked up like the weight Riz was using, my family was like, whoa, how is he picking that up? I'm like, oh, because he's this. And then the next sentence is, yeah, I used to be this.
Yeah. He starts to, because he's blind. The character is blind, and the actor is actually blind.
Wait, really?
Yeah. Like you can see he's got a little bit of the, I mean, it's common. He's albino from what I can tell.
Yeah.
And I think it's quite a common occurrence for sight issues and things like that. I thought it was cool. It was a neat way of like bringing in
a good actor.
Yeah, he was a great actor, but it's also bringing in some diversity and some inclusion as well, which is always a nice box to tick, right?
Yeah.
But they actually did it in a really good way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it made sense, and he talked about like the darkness creeping in, and he didn't want to tell anyone as he was going after the augmentation. I thought it was a really neat scene.
It's kind of that reminds me of you, John, when the whole thing about Starfield was coming to a head, and you're like, the darkness is just creeping in, and you just want to hide and get away.
Hello, darkness,
next thing,
friend.
Really quick before we get there, Spartan gave us more money with a €10 super chat. They say I watched all cinematics from the games as a reminder. That's a big commitment, bro. That's like 3 hours. Started the season 1 again, and I like it more the third time. Okay. In my opinion, the Cortana on TV is the best version. Also ordered the first 3 books.
Wow.
I do think there's to be said for Cortana being more of a character. Like the book, she wasn't a character in the games, and it really wasn't until 343 took over that they went for more, not just pulled out of other science fiction and other things like character development. I always felt like it wasn't ever bad. I could just always point to the thing they were trying to pull from a lot of times. That was very obvious with the games. Less obvious with the books, but it was still tropey. And I do feel like they are trying to not be as trope filled with their character backstories and stuff. They want it to be something different and new, and not, referencing aliens and other, Starship Troopers and other stuff that the games would very heavily borrow from, because it's just fun.
Yeah. Go on.
Oh, I was gonna say, someone mentioned the weapon and stuff as talking about Cortana. I like that version of Cortana. I think it brings in a lot more of the character and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm still like, it's still voiced by I don't understand, why didn't they just cast her?
It originally was going to be Natasha McElhone, because Cortana was literally supposed to be a clone from her, but then there were scheduling conflicts and pandemic happened, and so they changed the look, they just made her look more Cortana-ish and brought in Jen Taylor to just do the voice. And I think in the long run, it's probably best anyways. But they really wanted Cortana to feel like an offshoot of Halsey, like literally
the
built
first
from
season,
her.
right?
And early on, because like I was at the studio when they were talking about doing the show and stuff. So I think even early on they wanted Halsey or Jen Taylor to actually voice her and stuff, and then have just someone else be the actor.
Yeah.
Another super chat. Thank you guys.
Dang.
James Hubbard says, as someone with diabetic retinopathy, I could relate to him when he spoke about the darkness creeping in. The actor did a fantastic job. I fully agree.
Yeah, it was a really good scene.
Immediately
That's cool,
saw
yeah.
there. In the scene, he basically talks to Riz about, hey, someone help me out. And that's going to come in later. Okay, gonna move through. Again.
I'm surprised that we haven't seen more people angry about who helped him out. It's been nice.
Yeah,
I'm sure they will eventually.
Yeah.
But, you know.
Again, Chief confronts Ackerton again, but this time we get an important piece of information, which is that Perez, the one Marine he saved, didn't corroborate his account and instead either shut up and said nothing or something like that. Chief's like, that's impossible. Anyways. Moving on. And then we get a pretty cool training scene. Right? Like it's like a little bit of action throwing in without action, and I kind of like that. Just seeing the Spartans move.
Yeah, and this one you can definitely tell a lot more of the CGI stuff, obviously, because they're
in the middle of the day,
jumping up a mountain and like stuff like that. Like you can tell that,
and falling down a mountain.
Oh yeah, the falling down stuff too. I was just like, it's like definitely.
I'm like, okay, they're gonna try catching her at the end of that. Nah, they just saw her just fall like 40 feet. On her back.
Yeah, we didn't mention it earlier, but it was quite cool seeing the Halo Infinite grapple hook in.
Yes,
in
we
the series,
didn't mention
wasn't
that.
Yes, I saw that. That was
like,
sweet.
oh,
it was
sweet.
in some of the posters, so I was waiting to see when it shows up.
Canon, I'm just saying it again, but
I know. Nanobots,
it's their own canon, can't break it.
Nanobots. But yeah, like the training scene was cool, but again, like the Chiefs just like get up, carry on. And everyone's like, dude, she's really fucked. Like, can you give her a break? And he's like, no. Yeah. Like, again, like sometimes there are bits where I'm like, why are you being like that?
Yeah.
It felt that doesn't feel
like
like the Chief I know.
Yeah. It felt in those moments that they kind of backpedaled on him, like kind of becoming more emotional and stuff. And I was like, it just didn't fit.
I actually took it's him more emotional because he feels like he is right and he's the only one who knows and he needs to push them to be ready.
I can see that.
And he's not. None of them are used to their feelings. Like it's still a learning process because he's furious and he's just probably not that used to being so frustrated.
And Riz was it was more so Kai was like, yo, Chief, you're pushing her a little hard, and he's like, hey, we got a combat mission coming, we got to be ready. Right.
Yeah, I guess I could see. I guess I can see that approach.
I could see like the beginning of Halo 5 Chief doing that, the one where he's pushing himself in mission after mission after mission. You know what I mean? Which, to be fair, is kind of like this. Lost Cortana, blah blah blah, etc. To be fair, he only knew her for 2 hours.
Still has only gotten laid once.
Yeah.
It's frustrating.
Anyways,
Charlie Murphy's a good-looking lady. You know, I'd be frustrated too.
Pretty cool training mission. Some really cool cinematic CGI. The armor looks so good. The armor looks fantastic. Yeah. Holy crap.
Yeah.
It's 50 pounds of plastic. That is a lot of plastic.
That is.
Damn. I'm gonna skip
it's probably as thick as that elephant back there. That thing's freaking heavy.
Skipping through a little bit. Riz goes to someone who treats her pain somehow. Did you guys get what that scene was about?
It's pretty much just making her feel it a bit and making her just kind of accept it. Like he's just doing a massage, feeling into it, and she's so afraid of feeling it. And I took it as he's gently making her feel it and come to terms that it's there.
Yeah.
Like while doing essentially like a nerve massage.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I picked up on it too. And at first I was like, they're not doing some kind of weird magic, are they?
Yo, flipping Karate Kid, man. It's my first thought. I'm not gonna lie a little bit.
No, I took it the same because he did it with a Spartan before, and I think he knew, pellets in, pellets out now because you're feeling it. Otherwise, you would have no idea it was even doing that. Yeah. Pellets out, you're feeling it, you don't know how to deal with it, and he was able to help the other guy come to grips with what I'm going through, a thing I haven't really felt before because I had this friggin' pellet in me.
Speaking of pellet, it was
Yeah.
nice seeing Riz's kind of talk where it's like Vanek's like, you can always put it back in. She's like, I forgot her exact line, but she was like, you have to kill me or something. Like she used to be so against Chief taking it up, but then clearly, like, in those 6 months, things have happened.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, moving on. So I actually really like the scene, which is Chief goes to confront Perez, like, hey, what the heck? Why did you not say anything? And he has like this little family dinner, which is almost like comedic, but at the same time, like, shows more of his character and of the world. And honestly, it was just a really good scene overall, I thought. What do you guys think?
And how nobody knows who he is outside of the armor, and the moment they find out how geeked out they are, and
What was
Yeah.
his
We
line?
like,
work
holy shit.
together.
The guy's line's like, what's your KDA? I'm like, what did he say?
Yeah, they referenced the Spartan Strike or whatever, which wasn't that was the mobile game, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
And then Chief's answer is the best. What was it? I don't keep score.
Yeah.
and then he looks
the
really
awkward-
serious for a while,
Yeah.
then waits.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then smiles.
Yeah.
I kind of took that as he's picking up a bit more on social cues.
Yes.
And
Yes.
stuff, and it's just
Mm.
like he's like, oh, I should probably smile or something.
Yeah.
Anyways, all right, moving on. He has another scene I really liked, which is like kind of a heart to heart with Perez, where he's like, yo, lady, what the heck happened? Right? And instantly, survivor's guilt. And it was so like, it answered the question so well, I want to say. Where I'm like, okay, what kind of reason are they going to say for her to shutting up? Is she being threatened? Is she being like paid off? Blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, no, why am I here? Why am I alive when no one else is? Right?
Yeah. It was neat.
And
neat.
she wouldn't believe that anyone else saw that woman,
Yeah.
which is when we get confirmation that Mackie wasn't a vision or anything.
Wait,
She
did
was
say
there.
She saw the woman?
Yeah, at the end, doesn't he say, "Why didn't you say you saw the lady"? I thought he did.
I
Maybe.
don't remember. I'm not gonna lie.
I
I
can't.
might be misremembering,
Okay.
but I don't know that she is. But
Okay.
I remember thinking, because she was saying, yeah, she saw everything. But
Okay. It turns out Ackerson is the one holding Halsey hostage, which was pretty expected. It was clearly O&I. And he's trying to get
Yeah.
something out of her, I guess. I'm not 100% sure, to be honest.
I think this is a
I
case
remember.
of, Halsey's horrible and villainous and a genius, but she's our evil, villainous genius. So, let's keep her in a box and make her do the hard work for us. Yeah, I don't know where they're going to go with Halsey, but I look forward to finding out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because there's got to
Mhm.
be a big reunion of sorts.
well, John, they go with. I'm kidding.
So were those, by the way, that's like an illusion, right? Or was she actually meeting Flash?
It's like a
Gordon
hologram.
dying every time?
It's a hologram room.
Okay.
I like a holodeck, basically.
So those aren't real clones dying? I wasn't sure about that. Like, is it Ackerson?
No,
just
they're
killing
real
a bunch of
clones.
Flash
Yeah, those are real clones.
He's just
but,
killing a
like,
bunch of
the
Flash
room
clones for
and
no
the
reason. What the
environment.
flip? What's wrong with this
Yeah.
guy?
Man, that's what they're for. I mean, they're Flash.
We'll have
clones.
to find
Why
out.
do you
Who
keep
cares
making
about them? No, I think it. And if I had to kind of do it like a mad genius or a villain kind of thing, is that the Spartan 2 program used Flash clones in order to hide the fact that they stole kids.
Yeah.
So I think it's kind of a callback to that, and then then kind of sending them into the same one after another to interact with
Halsey,
her
right?
is kind of like a sick, twisted joke.
Yeah, but like,
You
it's
know,
not gonna
I
affect
could-
her. She's a monster in the show.
Oh
Right.
yeah, but I mean, it's like that's kind of what I'm thinking from. Is it's kind of a callback to that
Okay.
kind of stuff.
And then it turns out he has Cortana with him, who looks different. I'm still not sure whether they just made her look different, if that's what she's gonna look like the rest of the season, or if there's something specific at work here. I'm not sure. And then Cortana mentioned something about I don't remember the exact wording, but something like, yeah, there's a 97% chance that this is true. And he's like, okay, can I do anything to prevent it? And he's like, no matter what you do, there's a 100% chance of this happening. Obviously, Jesse, you can't say nothing. What did you guys?
This is going to be humanity being defeated, right? That's my. That's
that
the
was
question
my
that's
initial
being
guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
My guess was the attack on Reach.
Yeah, 100%. That's where I went to.
That's what I was thinking. That,
Me,
like,
yeah,
no
that's where I
way
went.
to stop it.
Like the first question is, do they know where Reach is? Yes, 97% chance. Yes, my submissions. Can I do anything to prevent Reach from getting wrecked? No matter what the heck you do, it's done. It's over.
I didn't even take it as a 97% chance. Do they know where it is? Because it just felt like like from everything we've seen in the lead up and Rise from the Fall and all that stuff, I just assume that they're gonna at some point. So I took it as, can we stop them at all? So
Yeah.
Either way, kind of interesting that she's working with Ackerson or whatever the character's still in the show for now. Something's clearly off. Is the feeling I got.
Yeah.
Anyways, this episode's coming. Sorry, Nick.
I was gonna say it with because when he's talking about with Cortana and everything too, it's like when I was asking about like the chances and stuff, that's where I was like, okay, I was starting to kind of put the pieces together. I was like, okay, they know about the comm relays and all that kind of stuff. It's like it's like all those pieces started to kind of fall together.
Yep. So anyways, after the episode's running to an end, Chief figures out that Cobalt didn't actually leave the planet, and this is really cool. I like this scene, especially when you couple it with the name of the episode. Where I'm like, it's gotta be Sword Base, right? Come on, the episode's called Sword. It's gotta be Sword Base. Turns out, yes. You didn't make that connection?
No, I did not. But that makes sense now.
So Cobalt team was assigned.
They do a very good job of giving their versions of things we all know from games and books. I've liked that in this season.
So he finds out that Cobalt team went to Sword Base to check out a down comms relay. So now Chief knows where they are, and he sorties his team for action. Oh, and sorry, I kind of skipped over this really quick, but I feel like it's going to be pretty prevalent later on. Is Ackerson meets Kai, tries to get Kai to turn on Chief. Kai's pretty solid. Nope, Chief is solid. He's the best we got. But then also a hint of doubt when Ackerson mentions he might be a danger to himself. Whatever. They go on a sortie mission, and Chief lies to Kai, saying, yes, we're combat approved. We're good to go. Don't worry about it, which is obviously going to have repercussions later. Blah, blah, blah.
No, it's going to go fine. Lying to your friends never hurts. How many times have I told John? Nothing. Never mind.
Wait, what? the end scene here at Sword Base really bugged me, right? We are here, right? Is this the scene we're talking about?
We have the Marines. We're at Sword Base now. They're sending their people in 10 at a time to get killed by an elite with a sword.
Yeah. It's like,
right,
where's the flashlights?
Seriously, you guys are Marines. They're on your helmet. Turn them on. Oh, they're the dudes at the end that are stabbing everyone. Let's just turn our lights on and shoot them.
Yep.
But no, let's send us 4 at the time in the dark, and then when they stop, send the next 4. That makes tactical sense. And I'll stay behind by myself and hope for that. Like, it felt
my brother
so
was asking the same exact
silly.
thing. He's like, why don't they have flashlights? I'm like, just wait for it. The reason will come apparent. He's like, why don't they have it? Then the sword comes out, and I'm like, that's why. They needed that cool shot with the sword coming out of the darkness.
Yeah,
That's
it was all for the cool shot.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, I know that sounds
That's one of the things. Yes, this is stupid, but it looks cool.
Exactly.
It's a trailer shot. Yeah. Trailer shots tend to actually be kind of stupid in context, but they just look really cool.
Also, this elite looks pretty cool. I feel like he might be an important character. I'm assuming as we go through.
He looked more, or they looked more unique in a way.
Yeah,
like their own model.
Yeah,
like a special ops kind of unit or something.
So this elite shows up, killing a bunch of humans, about to kill a dude, and then someone says not to, and he throws the elite away, and Maki is still
the one and only Biz Maki.
Why is she back?
We'll find out. I don't know yet.
I forgot that she got shot in the first season. I completely forgot about that.
She was dead.
Yeah.
And when I saw him in the first episode in the shadows, I was like, oh, that's just Chief having a little mental wobble. But no.
If it's like Quan Ha, I have faith that they're going to do better with it because they really do a good job with Quan.
I look forward to the redemption arc, but like...
It was the most impossible redemption was the one that I think they've already pulled off based on what I've seen. So I'm willing to see it out.
Her presence alone isn't my issue with it. It's the fact that she's ordering Covenant again just really bugs me the wrong way, man. At the end of the first season, we got the reveal.
They were totally betraying her.
Exactly, blah, blah, blah. Why are they still listening to her? But
what if it's her twin sister?
This is my theory, which is that she's not physically there, even though I know she looks like she's touching it, but she's not actually touching it. This is just domain stuff, is my personal theory. Because she was shot in the chest while in the domain, right? At the end of the first season.
No.
Yeah.
And it was very much implied about her like calling Chief through the domain and stuff. Like I definitely think it's Forerunner magic. If you want to know how something impossible happened, you always look to the Forerunners.
Yeah, I don't know. It felt the thing that I think broadly as a TV show that concerns me is it felt Marvel-ish. Like, surprised she's not dead. I'm like, oh, like okay, like that death now has no significance.
Yeah.
It wasn't a love that was had and lost, and you were betrayed at the same time, and there's all that stuff to unpack. It's no, she's still alive, so then we're gonna have more feelings, and I'm like, I don't know. Let's let it play out.
Yes, fair
but
enough.
I
The
wasn't
first 2
pleased
episodes.
to see her appear.
Yeah.
Like
Same.
I'll give them time to see what we do with her, but let's see.
And
I think
since it was a while since I saw the first season and stuff, I was meaning to go back and watch it before this one again, but I forgot that she died and stuff. So I was totally like, I wasn't as surprised to see her in there. And then when it was brought up, I think later, it was just I think Kai or someone was like, I shot her and stuff, and I was like, oh yeah, I guess she did die.
I will just say, broad terms, this series has very high. I don't feel plot armor all the time.
Okay.
Like I don't think it. There are stakes and they are high, and it is not a happy story. So if you're worried about the marvelization of these people just can't die. They can run through and they just quip away and they're fine. It's like it is a war show and it is treated in that way.
In our prediction podcast that we did a couple weeks ago, or whatever, I think we predicted that at least one of the Spartans was probably going to die by the end of the season.
100%. But yeah,
maybe.
Becky is back. Let's see. Again, my issue with her isn't that she's back. It's that she's like, her working with the Covenant is one thing. The Covenant working with her is another. Let's see. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt for now because clearly a lot of things have improved, right? So, and if, as Jesse's saying, if they can pull off Kwan Ha's, then they can pull off hers. Let's see. I'll give them some more episodes.
I really like Kwan Ha.
Okay. All right.
Interesting.
I'll say the elites did point out just like that it was a not an honorable fight and stuff. So they kind of seemed kind of annoyed that they were there doing the stuff with her. So
yeah,
I kind of redeemed it a little bit for me. They were
talking to each other and you could understand it. Like you had subtitles when she was talking with the elite.
At the end, the elite just spoke English.
Oh, did he? Okay, because my subtitles stopped working halfway through on Xbox, so I couldn't tell whether in episode 2. I couldn't tell.
I mean, maybe I just understand Sangheili now, but he
it's
said
a requirement to work at 343 now.
Yeah, he said that there's no honor in this fight. Like, why are we doing this?
Yeah, I remember that.
Okay, so there were
she's
subtitles.
like,
what the hell? I guess I didn't have subtitles. But okay, that is episodes 1 and episodes 2 of Halo the Series Season 2. Some final shots before we close off the episode.
Yeah.
What do you think, guys? John,
James even says that it wasn't.
I am far more hopeful.
Okay.
Overall, as a series, like I'm far more hopeful.
What if I told you, John? I gave episode 1 a 6.5. I gave episode 2 a 7. Then I gave episode 3 an 8, and episode 4 in my head, not writing full reviews, a 9.
Yeah, I knew episode 4 was
It was like 8.5 and 9. It went
like
okay, not great start, decent second, really good third, holy shit fourth. That was how it was for me so far.
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm in. I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna enjoy it for what it is. But I'm nowhere near as down as I was on the first season.
Okay.
Like tonally, the script, the performances, everything is just ticked right up. So I'm keen to see.
And 1 and 2's weaknesses were setting up 3 and 4. Like they really were there to get you ready to go for once things take off.
Yes.
Yeah. Which when you're watching them, you're like, but when you go back on a rewatch, you're like, oh yeah, that works really well for what happens later, type of thing.
Yeah. Which makes sense for just like, the structure of a TV series. It's like the first couple episodes are always like set up,
Yeah, unless they're like anthology-ish, like Mandalorian season 1, which actually wasn't very good if you go back and watch it, where it's its own bespoke story with a light overarching narrative. These are just a straight narrative, so they have to have a flow to them to really make sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Overall, I'm still not fully sold on the B story. I hope they don't stay in the rubble for too long. It didn't work well in season 1. I'm hoping it's not really working that well in season 2 so far. I like episode 1 better because of the action scene and the planet getting glassed. But I mean, I'm looking forward to watching this next week, and I'm really, really looking forward to episode 4.
Yeah.
God damn.
I'm really looking forward to episode 5 because I've got to go like a month without getting to see anything new if they don't give me screeners.
Sucks to be you.
Are you still like rewatching him now though? That now that you can see,
I'm gonna
him,
watch
like,
him with the missus
actual-
right after this show.
Okay, nice, awesome.
Nice.
Then,
And I think she might want to be on for like the next one. She liked being on for the first
I need
season.
to set up a 5-person setup. I'll definitely do that because actually I feel like even it's technically like 11 a.m. for Nick, so I feel like he can maybe hop on if he really wants to. Other Nick.
It's a work day, isn't it? Oh no, it's Saturday. He already gives up Sunday. His wife would probably get cross if he gave up Saturday too.
Yeah, I'll message him anyway, so just double check.
Yeah.
But I mean, okay.
Wonder how it was to shoot the show. We got Chief and Keys on tomorrow. It's going to be an incredible podcast.
Yeah, and just a heads up, I am not on tomorrow's Xbox Hero podcast. Because
You got your annual gay orgy. I hope you play
yeah.
safe, play fun.
Yep, always wear a condom.
On your head.
Right up with your nose. But yeah, pleasure being here, and it's good to chat Halo, and I'm glad the series is back. It's fun to watch.
Okay. Thank you everyone for joining us. Nice, quick, maybe not as quick as you wanted to, but it was 2 episodes, so we'll get into the gear of things for the next few ones. We're back again next week. Should be the exact same time. Tell your friends, tell your family. Watch the show, then watch us. Thank you very much for watching this. Jesse's freaking me out, but thank you very much for watching the Spoilercast for Halo the series. HaloEra special episode. You guys have a good night.
Sorry, my camera froze.
Definitely. Have a good
Ciao
one,
for
guys.
now.
See you all.